being a role model, if they told you before now that you're going to be a role model, at least there are some things you cut down, some excesses, you behave well just because you know you are going to be what? A role model. But now, there is nobody that told you. Automatically, you just became a role model, and you find yourself telling your younger ones not to do what you yourself did. So what are those challenges you faced as a first son, and how were you able to overcome them? For me, how I overcame my own was I just calmed down my pride and just started to learn, get the corrections and just become the best. The same way you gave challenges to your dad when they were correcting you, you find out that your younger ones will give you that same challenge. When you are telling them don't play too much, they tell you, what? Were you not playing the other day? And things like that. So what are these challenges and how did you overcome them? Let's see. Put your hands together for Ambassador Sunshine. He's the CEO of Sunshine Group. We're going to come to that. All right, go ahead, sir.
All right. Hello, church.
Hello.
I'm trying to avoid the praise the Lord, but we're in the church setting. So
Okay, can you come up so that those of us watching online can
praise the Lord? Permit me to use the praise the Lord. We are in the church setting, so I think that is allowed.
Yes.
Okay. Talking about the role model is really a problem because we discover that as a first son, you're not only carrying your siblings, but those of us, even some of us, our parents are looking up to us. So there's a time you get to them. Your parents now turn back to
drink from you.
And start looking up to you for one or two answers to challenges in the family. And it's a very big problem. Number one, my own challenge basically is the issue of finance.
Finance, money.
Ego. That's basically, I discovered that is basically the challenge I had, even right from childhood till up to this moment. It has not been easy. We are 5 in number. I'm the first son by birth. There are 4 boys and 1 girl. Wow. Now, the 4 guys, the only girl is married and she's off the family. So the remaining 3 are now the guys, they are all in school, ABSU, and one is just outside, one traveled out. And before he traveled out, it was still a burden because there was no money. He said he wants to move out, he wants to travel, we told him, why, what's going on, this one, and he just decided that he wants to move. Okay, we had the family meeting, and then my father asked me 1 or 2 questions if I would like the idea. I gave my own answer. Told him traveling is the solution, but there's a way you talk, and it will not look as if
you are against the move.
So I kept quiet, and after much, we had to raise some money, which bulk of the money or some percentage of the money came from my own side. So, and today is in Dubai. That is one. So the issue of finance is a very big problem for first sons. Even for first daughters as well. But I'm trying to give my own side of the story. So for me, I think the number 1 challenge as a first son and passing through is the issue of finance, because once there is an issue in the family that has to do with money,
they must look at you.
Money, the first person that they will call is me, and you have to.
You have to have.
You have to have. Whether the money is available, they don't want to know. The problem is that this is the issue: my house rent, my school fees. My father is a retired civil servant, and then you know what it is now, civil servant in this country, not to talk of people that have retired. So it's a whole lot of challenge.
Okay.
By the grace of God, I have to keep working hard. That's the only solution I know I can offer. Keep working hard. Whatever means it is I can do to make sure that this money is made available
once it is requested.
For my own personal needs also. So I think for me the challenge is finance.
Wow.
For me, I'm talking from my own.
Put your hands together for our ambassador. Finance. Put your hands together now. It's true. While he was talking, the international president, in the person of Rev.Barr.Ikenna, just walked in. Please rise to your feet. With a clapping ovation, let's put your hands together for him. Put your hands together for him as he comes up. You are not celebrating him. We'll close this meeting now. Jam those hands together for the international president.
Let's have our seats. Today I want to welcome every one of us. Please can we occupy the seat before us? And all of our viewers, everywhere you are. And we're going to be straightforward in our discussion today. This is the International Center for Leadership, Diplomacy, Economic, and Human Development. And today we're looking at becoming a beacon of light. Just like before I walked in, I discovered we're having discussions that has to do with the first sons and the first daughters. You know, most of the times we think that when we talk about first sons and first daughters, a lot of people think that this is maybe it's another religious meeting, another religious program. Maybe probably we're trying to do something just to keep people busy. But if you are very conscious, are very deliberate about the things we are doing and things we are discussing, you find that there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done. So everywhere you're watching us from, in few 30, 40 minutes, we're going to be here. I want you to get yourself connected, and all of us that are here, this is critical. Critical in the sense, number one, it affects your direct family. It's something that affects your direct family when it has to do with, for people like us who are married. And then also, it extends to your immediate family, maybe first level extended family. Maybe you have your elder brothers, you have your elder sisters, your younger brothers, your sisters, and all the rest of them. And then you move to the second stage that has to do with your extended family members. If you're the first son and you're the first daughter that is watching us, or you are here, I want us to understand that we have a lot of responsibility. You are not the first son, or you are not the first daughter by chance. It was God's design. Somebody shared with me something last week, just in the course of this week. And the person said something. He said, I have an elder brother. He said, I have an elder brother. And by reason of my elder brother's disposition and the way he is, by reason of my elder brother's disposition, he said he has found out that the guy smokes. The guy smokes. The guy is now an addicted. Is now a drug person. He's now a drug person. And do you know what his friends are telling him? His friends are now telling him, your father has decided to take the second son as the first son. Because he's the only one that is in school, has graduated from the school. He's the only one that is doing well. He's the only one that they will call when there is an issue. Whereas they have an elder brother who refused to go to school. And now the elder brother, the first son, is going to the second son to collect money. Whenever the second son comes back home, the first son will ask the second son, I'm owing some people, give me some money. The second son, in order to calm the family down, because he has to give the first son money. And you find that we are in a generation of Esau's that are first sons. You know, when we talk about the issue of birthright, you look at that understanding, why did Esau sell his birthright? You know, we read the Bible from a religious point of view, instead of reading it from a technical point of view. Why did Esau? The philosophy, the 21st century contemporary definition of Esau selling his birthright is Esau selling his responsibility. So when you are a first son and you shy away from responsibility, or you are a first daughter, you shy away from responsibility, I want to let you know that your second brother is going to take over. Naturally take over. Without any grudge. And you find that, just like I was discussing with the person, the elder brother is very, very angry. He's very, very angry. And while I was discussing with him, he said that his father's elder brother, his father's elder brother called him and told him, "You are too small for both of us to divide land. I am the owner of all the landed property of my family. So anyone I want to give to you, I do what? I give to you." For those of us who are watching us from any other country, this is Africa description for you. And it doesn't matter whether it's Africa or Europe or America, these principles also work. Just take a look around you. When I discovered this first son and first daughter challenge, in their marriage, they always have a challenge. In their finances, they always have a challenge. In their academics, they always have a challenge. In their spiritual life, they always have a challenge. So that was what actually gave birth to the first sons and first daughters leadership forum. Leadership forum in the sense that it drives you to the point of making sure that you stay high. Listen, I also want to put a caveat here. We are not in competition with our younger ones. We are not in competition with our siblings. But we are in competition with ourselves. And we are in competition with our destiny. As long as you realize that you are in competition with yourself and you're in competition with your destiny, you find out that you will definitely be the leader, not by birth. Listen, leadership is not biological. Leadership is responsibility focused. My dad just had some little eye challenge and needed to go to hospital. I have always made up my mind to step in. I've always decided to find a way to be the one that will make one contribution, to take him to the hospital, to carry him out. And I want you to know something, that just like in the past, in the church setting, or in the business setting, or in the bank, or whatever, how someone becomes a leader it has to do with involvement. I was thinking yesterday night, based on the things we have been doing in our church, in our organization here for the past 6-7 months. And I was thinking about leadership. You know, by reason of our vision in this church, in this organization, everything we talk about leadership. So I was thinking about leadership, and I was trying to take a broader view of leadership. I found out that severally, when the director of school or the director of operation or anybody here that has been given an assignment to do, and there's something that is slowing down, the person is slowing down, or the person is doing it, but is not doing it the way I want it to, or it should be. I have always found myself seeing myself as a leader, stepping overboard to make sure that I carry what? Everybody. I've always put my back so that somebody who will not collapse, just like most of you, I will shout, I will scream, I will react, I will step in. If I had to even do mercenary work, negotiate with the mercenaries, I had to go and talk with the carpenters. Because one is that the failure of a system is the failure of leadership. And that's the way it is in everybody's life. If you fail in your responsibility as a leader, if you fail in any way. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. We're asking for first sons and first daughters everywhere you are. It is important for you to realize that your birth, biological birth, is a call. So back to what we are doing today. Today we are talking about becoming beacons of light. I looked at Merriam-Webster dictionary. Please take this definition. It says it defines beacon as a source of light or inspiration. We're going to look at these words. It defines, get something for this young man. He's looking at me as if he's magnet. You're not magnet. Are you a first son? Wake up. It said, as a source of light, because the things you're going to be hearing are the things that are affecting you. It's affecting you. You have a younger brother, right? You have a younger brother. What's your younger brother doing? He's a student. Are you done with school? You have not even entered. You see? Did you see what I'm talking about? The younger brother already is in school. And he himself also is not in school. You know, when we say these things, okay, let's say it is not, somebody will just argue with me and say, no, this is not a general definition. It's not a general scenario. But I want to let you know that it is 99%. And if something is even 70%, it's real. If something is even 65, you need to begin to give it attention. Now, something is 99. You hardly can find any person. There is always that, I don't know how, or maybe probably is something that happened in the Bible or whatever. But I know one thing is that as long as you have decided to deal with a matter, you have what it takes to deal with that matter and walk away from it. A beacon is what? Listen, we're not doing one kind of excitement something. It's something that you must put down and write. And then while you're leaving, you walk away with that. It's not, we're not doing something that people just walk. It's a responsibility system. And I do it intentionally. So it has to do with a beacon. Becoming a beacon of light has to do with you are a source of light. Just write that. Number one, source of light. Let's put it that way. Number one, source of light. Number two, source of inspiration. Number one, source of light. Number two, source of inspiration. Number three, source of guidance. Source of guidance. Number four, source of hope for others. Source of hope for others. You know, when we say that something holds the promise of hope, it means that that thing is a source of inspiration. Let's say we say that this new medicine, this new discovery in medicine is a beacon of hope for thousands of people that have diabetes. Do you understand what I mean? Let's say there is a new innovation or a new introduction in medicine that handles diabetic people, and someone is saying that this new medicine or this new drug is a beacon of hope to thousands of people all over the world that is going through or suffering from diabetes mellitus. So when we say that someone is a beacon of light, we're saying that someone is a medicine. Someone is a source of hope to thousands of people, and more especially to his family. Let's go again. Let's look at I'm just trying to make sure that I do the intellectual part of it, and then we go ahead and talk and then reason with ourselves. Let's look at something that I just saw there that is important. Listen to me. Take this thing down. I believe that all the first sons and the first daughters everywhere, that we are beacons of hope to mankind. Right now, I am a beacon of hope to mankind. I am a beacon of hope to mankind. Number two is that even in the bleak of years, first sons and first daughters are a beacon of hope for the future. Even in this bleak of years, a lot of bleak of years. We'll talk about bleak of years where it looks as if there is an uncertainty of life. First sons and first daughters are beacons of hope. So it's important that the arrival of every one of us is expected to bring light into that family. Let me explain something. I'm just trying to just follow. Let's take another definition. The definition of beacon is a person or a thing that offers support. It offers support. A person offers support. Ability to offer support is what makes you a beacon of light and source of inspiration to several persons that are around you. Are we together? Okay, let's look at there are about 5 pillars of beacons of hope, and we're going to look at that, and then we'll make progress. But one thing I know is that it's important that everyone. I just want to get some things clear so that we can move. When Jesus Christ, who is our model of being beacon of hope, in John chapter 14, verse 16. Let's get John 14, verse 16. I wouldn't have the time, but let me just read it. It said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So when Jesus Christ was saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life, the very simple explanation of that is that he's telling you that he's the beacon of light. He said, I am the way. So as a first son, as a first daughter, you are expected to be the way. You are expected to be the truth. You are expected to be the life. What do I mean by, I am the way, the truth, and the life? When you explain it from a religious perspective, a lot of people think that we're talking about going to hell, even though that is okay. If you mess up, you go to hell, you stay here with Satan and be the governor in his kingdom. Nobody should go there. But we're saying that, when we say Jesus Christ say, I am the way. Please analyze that word. I am the way, the truth, and the life. That means I am the pattern. I am the validity of life. I am the trueness of existence. I carry a practical explanation of how somebody needs to live on this earth. And then I am an example, an inspiration, and a source of existence for everyone. That's what I see that from the contemporary view of I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, look at all of us here. Those of us who have become followers of Jesus Christ. Haven't you seen that your following Jesus Christ has automatically made you the way? Talk to me now. Have you not seen that you are offering truth? Have you not seen that your accepting Christ as your Lord and personal Savior has made you a life? I just pray you understand. Are we together? I just pray you understand I know that one thing is that when you are teaching church people or people in the church from that perspective of intellectualism, very difficult to understand. One of the demands of inspiration or becoming a light or a beacon of light is personal deprivation. Personal deprivation. The second one is deferred gratification. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 12, it says, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not helpful. So it means that I want to do this, but because I want to be a source of inspiration, I must either avoid doing this or do this. And for the since this year, this is 2022. For the past years, in fact, since August last year, it has been hectic on me, from one thing to the other, from one thing to the other, from one thing to the other. But you know what? Yesterday night we had a very powerful crusade, and the crusade was massive to the glory of God and all that. I came back home for the first time. I was horribly tired. I was aggressively tired. That I had to sleep. I didn't even eat anything. I just took banana and slept. Woke up this morning and saw a lot of messages on WhatsApp that I needed to give attention to. And I need to also put myself together to be here this morning. But you know what? I could comfortably tell somebody, go ahead and do that. I won't come. But you know one thing is that I have found that in leadership, you must always stay ahead. You know, people are willing, just like we have in Africa, people are willing to take up people are willing to take up political positions, but they are not willing to take up responsibility. Leadership is not something that you wish or you, if you're not ready to step out, if you're not ready to go out of the boundaries of life, if you're not willing to do this and stretch yourself, carry everybody along, you will not be able to play the role of the leader that life, God, biology has given to you. No, biology has given you leadership. That is the most troublesome part of leadership. Because in that kind of leadership, you don't grow to it. They give it to you. And once they give it to you, whatever you see, you take. Let's say, for instance, you walk into any school. You say, anybody who wants to be a senior prefect, come. You know, many people will not want. Okay, there are many people. God's servant Bishop David Oyedepo said that in Winners Chapel, that they have raised about 10,000 people who can actually contest for the post of the president of Nigeria in 2023 election. That's the fine generalized statement. But the issue is that how many persons out of the 10,000 are willing to step into the place, and then you lose your 40 billion. You just join one political party like APC or PDP, and they promise you heaven and earth, and say if you bring 15 billion, we'll give you party ticket, and that they have all the structures, even in Niger Republic. You know, there are in Niger Republic, Ghana, and Cameroon. You know, they play international politics to determine who becomes the president of Nigeria. Are you aware? They are critical stakeholders, because whatever happens in Nigeria will affect Niger Republic, will affect Republic of Chad, Ghana, Cameroon, all those countries around us. So that is what is called international politics. If you care to know more, come and meet me on international political economy. For those of us who are, I'm sorry if you studied only science, you are lost. Jump just started selling phone. You can pick it and find yourself back to where realities of life is. So if they will just tell you, hey, my friend, bring 15 billion, we'll give you APC ticket, and you just have meetings. He said, I had meetings with the caucus members, the inner caucus members of APC and PDP. You don't know, they have dug one big pocket, one big hole inside your pocket. And once you drop the money, they off their phone. You will not be able to see them again. Once if you use another line and call them, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. They are just lowered their voice. And once the primaries are over, they do what? They just bring out here, their gods and their effrontery, their temerity is so bold that they will steal your 15 billion and see you in the next campaign. They will shake your hand. He said, Honorable, His Excellency. He says, after stealing your 15 billion, and they don't care. If you get angry too much, they tell you that politics is a game. The money is gone. So, how many of them from Winners Chapel are willing to step into the what? The game. Because you know what that means. Most of the times we talk to people that say, why is that the church does not want to enter into politics? The issue is that it's not that they like the things that are going on. The challenge is that people are not willing to do what? Step out. It is this unwillingness to step out that is keeping the country the way it is. Somebody is like looking at his back. What if I step in and all my money disappear? I go back to square one. What if I step in and they rape my wife? What if I step in and they kill my children? What if I step in and I lose my company? What if I step in? What if I do this? What if I step in and they kill me in the process? What if I step in and I'm short? What if I'm stepping? By the time you gather the what ifs, the what ifs becomes weightier than what if not. And once the what ifs are weightier than the what is not, you will give up. And that's the way he has to do it as a first son and as a first daughter. Deferred gratification. If you want to be an inspiration, you must sacrifice. Oh my God. I can give you endless sacrifices I've made in order to make sure that my siblings make progress. And that is what is called leadership. Most of the times it's not comfortable. And most of the times they don't even appreciate what you're doing. Am I making sense? Are we together now? That most of you that are girls, you carried your siblings at your back. You were still helping them to eat. You are still helping them to. Once they just grow up and grow breasts. Say, auntie, what is that? You're a woman, I am. And what about it? You are a man, I am what? Even though I'm your younger brother, you shouldn't talk to me like that. The day they will tell you that is the day you ask yourself, bros, upgrade. The third has to do with upgrade. For those of you who are only son, you are free from ambiguity. You live your life at your pace. For you to be an inspiration as a first son, as a first daughter, you must have the honest competition mentality. Competition can be positive, it can be negative. Our pastor in Port Harcourt sent something on platform and said that on where we have our church, that one apostle has joined in the platform. I wrote him and said, congratulations. Now you have competition. By the time you hear his noise, you enter the street and go and look for people. Because once you're alone in that game, there is no what? Competition. You are just there doing what? Doing your thing. Just like, I'm the owner, I'm the only son. Or maybe you are the first son, and then you have about 5 girls. After 5 girls, you now have one small boy that is what? 3 years old. You can be clapping hands, but one day that boy will grow. And once he grows, he begins to place a demand on you, you know yourself. But for those of us who have back-to-back younger brothers, you know what is back-to-back? Back-to-back younger brothers, or you have back-to-back sisters. And before your face, you find that suitors are coming for them. I want you to understand what we're talking about here. And this thing also has to do with what? Finance. It has to do with education. It has to do with innovation. Finance, education, innovation, taking giant strides. People do not obey people like that. People obey people by influence. Followership is influence. Until you're able to exercise that level. No. You know why I'm pushing to it? My distance, my distance, the distance I have between I and my brothers is very far. And it was a deliberate affair. Because one of the things is that I've mentioned about, I'm trying to just take it randomly, about honest competition. Honestly compete with yourself. The next one has to do with starving your disadvantage. Starving your disadvantage. Or demarketing your disadvantage. And one of the disadvantages of the most first sons and first daughters have is money disadvantage. Are we together? Money what? Disadvantage. Suddenly you just find out that your younger brother has built a house. You're there trying to put things together. The guy has bought black Jeep. Or you suddenly discover that he has gotten a visa to travel to Dubai. And then you're talking, he's telling you, what are you saying? And you find out that the next one has to do with equipment with relevant information. Equipment with relevant information. I've mentioned several things. I'm trying to take them point by point. Equipment with relevant information. Man, I read. When I don't just read things that are centered around my life as a pastor. I read things that gives me an edge. I was talking with somebody, a politician, and we were discussing, and he was telling somebody, he said, look at this guy. He said he's a reverend, but he's a man of many parts. And I'm telling you, to be a man of many parts, it's not an easy work. So if you want to be ahead, if not, I'm talking to you now, that your younger brother have started disrespecting you. So all you just need is to find a way and be in school. Because that, your inability to be in school has become your disadvantage. So what do? You deal with your disadvantage. The most foolish man on earth is the man who does not understand his what? Disadvantage. Everybody has what? So what do? You keep marketing what? For me, spirituality and spiritual sensitivity is my advantage. It's my competitive advantage. I must be on top of perception and connection to divinity at all times. That if I tell them in my house, I say, look at what God said, look at what this, I don't care how they feel about it, I just keep quiet. If they disobey me and go and do it, the thing will crash. And everybody will just calm down and say, what is he saying? You can harass me with your finances, no problem. I don't think there's any of my younger ones that can harass me with an individual finance. It's when they combine, they can harass you. But you need to also grow to the point that even if they combine, we're not teaching you to hate your people. Are you getting what I'm saying? But we are just inspiring. You know, most times people are saying they that compare themselves with themselves are not wise. Listen, if you don't have any competition in your class, motivation and excellence is what? Destroyed. If you don't have any competition, this is why we're working hard as an organization, fixing our school, because we know that along this road, we have competitors. So that's the way your life is filled with competition everywhere around you. My dear, I don't know your family. I don't know the family you came out from. But you know in my family, there is a subconscious, even though it's not obvious. My dad called me. That was last week. That was last week. He called me last week. He said, congratulations. So I was telling him, congratulations for. He said that your wife called me. So my wife called him and told him that she has been promoted to assistant registrar in her school. That she has been promoted as a registrar in her school. I said, oh, is that why? I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, thank you. I said, oh, he said, what? It's God's doing. That he worked hard, and all that. And then he told me that my second younger brother has been promoted to assistant general manager marketing of Zenith Bank. Enugu. And that was the boy I submitted his what? CV for them to give him a job. Bros, are you there with me? Oh, look at me, please. Listen. I don't know, maybe you are. This I'm telling you is that, listen, we are in African setting. One of the things that bring envy. You see people do charm. People do charm in Africa, in Imo State, in Nigeria. They do charm against their younger brother. It's because of what? It's because of envy. It's because of real envy. But you know what? There's a mentality you carry, is a mentality of leadership. And one of those envies that these people were not taught how to rise up. There is what is called a minimal. There's what is called, please look up here. I'm talking about something today. There's what is called a minimal. Okay, let's say somebody builds one-story building and you have a bungalow. That is fine. Do you know that the envy will not be there? Am I making sense now? Because somebody has a first degree, but you are in third year. Do you know that you have hope that I'll graduate? There's no problem. But whereas all your children, I'm talking, even though I'm speaking to my wider audience, all your children did not go to school. And you have your uncle. Your uncle's children, all of them did what? I'm telling you, listen, envy. I'm talking about with African setting. If that's outside the country, nobody cares. Do you know that my last sister that I used to carry up and down, my last sister, I'm talking to you now, she's almost a chartered accountant. My last sister, she's 31. She's 31. Chartered accountant. She read accounting in Harvard here. Moved and did PG. Moved and moved again. She has been promoted to become an auditor. As small as she is. She married one young man that read economics or something. And that young man has his PhD now. And they're in the same school. My elder sister just graduated and got her PhD in government and public administration. Or something like that. I think humanities also. At Umudi. I say my elder sister. How could you live in that kind of family and you're quiet? No, talk to me now. How could you live in that kind of family and you're quiet? So you must make sure that, and for those of you whose families are still coming up and all that, listen, take a gap. Take a speed. Set a goal and what? There's what is called destiny high jump. Just listen, please listen. Take a big stone and do throw and take a quantum leap into that by vision, by inspiration, so that it's going to be quite difficult for any of them to see you as a negligible entity in that system. So I know what I'm doing. And it's not quite easy for me. But I have to do that. Oh, talk to me now. Are we together? Please look up here. Please look up here. We live in Africa. Oh, sorry, all the people who are watching us outside the country, this is Africa. Even though this is Africa, sorry, but I'm talking to you on proper direction. Listen, I have done, you need to go and do a study on that. Pastor Johnson, you need to go and do a research on the concept of nuclear family and extended family in Africa. Causes of envy. You know, it's a case study. Oh, talk to me. You know, it's a research. Why? Why is it like that? And this is what the movies are projecting. Somebody just go, say, the child has given birth. Go and give the person charm. And it's something that has come to stay. There are people celebrate when their uncles have died. Or you think that people because look at the way you just came up, you are shining. You just came back and things are going. You think that they're happy with you? Oh, talk to me. You think that they're happy with you? Africa? This Africa. You're saying it's colonial masters. No colonial masters anything. Colonial masters don't care. Nobody knows who you are next door. In New York, nobody knows who you are. In Johannesburg, nobody knows who you are. It is only when you come out, listen, it is only when you come out in the bigger space. You want to do big business, they can clamp for you. But if it's on a domestic competition, nobody cares for you in America. But once you want to do a big business, they find out your business is the one that is now pulling customers. They will use the government and economic system and do what? And use politics and push you down. Competition is everywhere, all over the world. They use system. Oh my God. I know that I've been exposed to, the best thing that happened to me was to study law. Being in law faculty, Imo State University, over the Imo State, Nigeria, taught me how to fight, taught me the spirit of competition, taught me how to be competitive, how to listen. If this our competition breeds success, if this our organization, this church does not see any other church in Nigeria, in Imo State, as our competitor, I'm telling you, we're gonna die. We're going to leave. We're going to move out of extinction. The competition is high. People's attention are attracted towards success. Once you refuse to succeed, once you stop succeeding, people's attention leaves you. Oh, talk to me. How can you stay 1 week and nobody has called you? If nobody calls you for 1 week, you are a failure. You know why I use a small phone? Why I use a small phone is that I don't want the battery to die because we're living in Africa. So that consistently, I receive calls. Why I came a little bit late this morning was that I had to keep responding to people. Yes, but you see, you for complete 2 months, no, your phone have not. That's why you can comfortably plug it on and travel to Aba and come back. Because once you come back, you see only one missed call. Those that leave their phone and walk out, and they say, I plugged my phone and I went somewhere, are people who are not expecting calls. Are people who are not doing business. Are people who are not succeeding. Are people who are not making contributions. Are people who are not deliberate in their living. I want us to walk out of this place as beacons of light. We are source of light. We are source of hope. We are source of inspiration to people. I went to see my father. Listen, I went to see my father last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, I went to his house. Do you know what happened? He has collected a picture of my elder sister's PhD graduation, done enlargement on it, and put it in his sitting room. Where is your picture? Okay, you look at my face now. And listen, you know one thing is that if you don't do that, the reason why it's happening like this with you is because your father never taught you this. But you know what? I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. I know my first daughter's capacity. I know her disadvantage. I know my first son's capacity. I know his advantage and disadvantage. I know my second daughter and the last born. You know what? As a knowledgeable father, that's what we're teaching you. As a knowledgeable and inspiring father, I am consciously making sure that my daughter at all costs, at God's cost, becomes ahead. Ahead of the boy naturally, academically. Because that boy, they run speed, oh. He doesn't, you know the hear word. He dares anything. He dares anything. And when he fails, he cries. What are people who cry when they fail? They turn out to become great people. For my daughter, if she fails, what's there? I'm beautiful. Nobody, they don't enjoy beauty. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. I dress fine. I'm neat. That's the advantage. For my son, take this thing, clear this room, remove slippers, keep it inside the room. He will leave the rechargeable lamp. Come back here. Take the rechargeable. He will take the rechargeable. He will not remove the switch. He said, come back here. Why did you leave your shoe here? He will come back and take one leg of the shoe. That's not which kind of woman be. But you find out that is his what? Is his disadvantage. I said, my brother, who see that here? All you know is book. Some must stay online, browse online, read, do presentations. But tell my daughter, pack out the slippers. I won't even tell her to clean the whole place. She'll pack the slippers, she'll put everything together, she'll clear the dishes, she'll sweep the house, she'll mop everywhere. Don't tell me because she's a girl. No. I'm talking about advantage and what? Disadvantage. It's all applicable. Please, I want us to have that. How many minutes have I done? 40. Somebody help me. So, it's important are we getting something now? How many minutes have I done? 42. I think I'll stop here. I don't want to stretch it out so that people can actually download and watch. Listen, there are things. Let's tidy it up here and then we'll break out on this session and then ask questions. What were the things I said? Help me remind me of the things I said. I said the beacon of light has to do with inspiration, hope, and what again? Please. Guidance, lights. Let's go ahead. And then what are the things that you do in order for you to be able to become that beacon of light? What did I say? Personal deprivation, yes. Deferred gratification, yes. Is that what? Honest competition mentality, yes. Starving your disadvantage, yes. Equipment with relevant information. So you find that as a source, you need to become the source. Listen, if you let your children become the role model to your children. Pastor James, make up your mind that you are going to be the role model and inspiration to your children. In all ramifications. The reason why you're looking for role model is because your father is not. Hey, talk to me. That's the way it is. Naturally, our parents are our role models to an extent. And those role modeling has to do with over time. If your father is a good man, you have a tendency of following his good way. If you are a good boy. If you decide to choose. If your mother is a good woman, not a troublesome woman, naturally you, by reason of staying with your mother for 20 years or staying around you, some attitudes and behavioral patterns of your father naturally does what? Rubs on you. Some of them on your mother does naturally what? Rubs on you. But I'm talking about intentional modeling. Whether you're married now or you're not married, you must be able to model. And this is the way I live. I'm teaching you how, this is the way I live. I teach my children that life is competitive. I teach my children that life is not easy. I teach my children that you need to, they see the way I put everybody under check. My wife, my 4 children, everybody's brain is working because their father know they take shit. And I don't care how they feel. But when they get to the point, they will understand. Because you see this world we're living in. By the year 2030, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be hot. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be tough. It's going to be aggressive. So you must make sure. Listen, people begin to plan their marriages. People begin to plan their marriages when they have married. No, begin to plan your marriage before you even find a wife. Sit down and write. This I'm teaching you something. Sit down and write. What kind of family do you want? Have a family brand. What kind of family do you want? What kind of family do you want? Because one is that the woman that you're going to marry is coming from a different background. You as a man, you're coming from a different background. So how do you people form a mix? That's why I keep saying that what keeps families together is not love. What keeps families together is vision. You must, if you want to be a source of inspiration to your children, you must, I'm telling you practical things that if you follow it, you won't fail. I tell you that. For me, Dr. David Oyedepo is my family model, brand model. And thank God he has 2 boys and 2 girls. So I have 2 boys and 2 girls. So all the things I'm gathering, all the things I'm pulling, all the things I'm fighting to make sure my children, man, that man has peace. The 2 children solid and serving God. The 2 girls solid and serving God, married to quietness of life. Not that tomorrow they hear that your daughter is pregnant. God forbid. Tomorrow they hear your son slap somebody. God forbid. Not tomorrow they hear your son is doing dreadlocks. God forbid. Your son and your daughter shall not be a model of disgrace. So you must deliberately, this is life for you, man. It's not just one of those things that we attend and then we shout. And these are models. you know what? I'm modeling that to you. You must make sure that, listen, if you allow your children to do anything they want to do, fine and good. If you allow your wife to do anything that she wants to do, fine and good. That's your own. If the outcome becomes fine, that's okay. If the outcome boomerangs, I wish you the best. Listen, I grew up seeing my dad working as a civil servant and my mom as a businesswoman, and she has been the one bringing the money. I saw the woman that did not go to school bringing 100,000, bringing 200,000, determine the house rent. I saw it. Just saying, I made up my mind. Listen, I made up my mind. Somebody say, must you do that? Mustn't you do it? No, you know, sometimes people look at something and say, must you do that? I said, no, I'm good. But I must be the one that is bringing what? 80% of the cash. If not 100% of the cash that comes into the house. And I'm the one doing it. Even this morning, something's oil left my pocket. Even this morning, what? Oil must leave your pocket. Even this morning, all the things I'm cracking on my head, I'm trying to. Listen, I saw a picture this morning. And I don't want to bring that picture. And, you know, okay, let me describe the picture. I should describe. Please listen. And I'll post it on the WhatsApp. I don't want to post anything again so that Facebook will not. They drew a woman. Please listen. They drew a woman that was stark naked. They drew a woman that was stark naked. And in that picture, they drew a woman that was stark naked. And then the woman was carrying a cow. Yes. The woman was carrying a cow. And the cow, you know, imagine that I'm a woman. Straight, standing. The woman was standing. Stark naked. And the woman was carrying a cow. The cow was on top of the woman's head. From the stomach of the cow is on the woman's head. The part of the cow was back. Then, you know a cow now? The moo was on the woman's close to her private part. And I saw it, I thought this is an pornography. But I looked at the write-up. You know, that's creative art. I looked at the write-up. And the writer of that description, you know, he said, if you are a man, when you want to get married, don't marry a woman and all you're marrying her for is for her to satisfy you sexually. He said, and you have become a weight on her because she's a strong woman. Did you get that picture? Eh? Did you get it? Did you get it? Oh, let me explain. The woman was naked, stark naked woman. And the woman is slim. Then a big cow was on, that's a creative art. A big cow was on the woman. The woman was carrying a big cow on her head. The writer of that statement is explaining that the big cow means a man. Are you there with me? The big cow means what? A man. And the woman is the one that is what? Carrying what? The man. The woman is slim. But even though she's slim, she's still what? Carrying the man. And the description of the moon and the woman naked means that the woman is satisfying the man what? Sexually. And the woman is carrying the burden of what? The man. Carrying the burden of what? The family. Carrying the burden of what? The children. Even in her stark nakedness. And the writer of that is said, as a man, it ought not to be what? So, even though you married a strong, I just pray you're understanding what I'm saying. Even though you married what? A strong woman who can satisfy you what? Sexually. Who can carry the financial load of what? The family. Who can also carry you as a man on her what? on her head, who can also take care of her what? Children. He said, even though you married a strong woman, always find a way to understand that this woman has a breaking point. You know, most of the times you see some things online, you don't look at the creative art. Once I saw a naked woman, naked woman, I just went off. Someone I saw right up, I said, okay, let me know what they're talking about. I discovered that a man, a mule means that the man is having sex. That's what it means now. When a man is on top of a woman, it's sex. So the mule on top of the woman means sex. And they drew the woman naked. You know, those who study creative art, they have a way of trying to pass an information through drawing. So I read that thing and I say, hey, how to download the picture? I said, well, later I'm going to read it through. That if you are a man, you have a strong woman, and the woman is slim. She's, in sex. In sex, when a woman sleeps with a man, it means ownership. When a man sleeps with a woman, it means control. When a woman sleeps with a man, it means what? Ownership. When a man sleeps with a woman, it means what? Control. How a man says, don't worry, I've slept with that girl. Eh? Don't you hear guys that say it? He says, I've slept with that girl, don't worry. If I call her, she will come with me. That particular thing for natural men on the road is control. So come here. But you know what? You also see some girls. He said, don't worry, I know what Chief likes. I know what Chief likes. If I just open leg for Chief, don't worry, Chief go come. Are you sure? Oh, you go, hello, Chief. You put it on loudspeaker. Chief, I want to have you. So for a woman that is out there that is not a Christian, sex is what? Ownership. But for the man that is out there, sex is what? Control. Sorry, sex is conquering. Sex is what? Conquering. I've conquered that girl. I've conquered that girl. Me, I've had sex with her. I'm tired of her. I have sex with her. That's conquering. For the man out there, sex is conquering. And for the woman out there, sex is what? Ownership. I own this guy. Don't worry. He said he has traveled with his wife. Don't worry. If I tell him not to travel, you will know what? He said, what is that? Don't worry. Let me call him now. He can leave his wife by 12 midnight and come and see me. See? The girl is telling her friends that she has what? Ownership of the man. So you find out that this is the same thing with responsibility. It's the same thing with first sons and first daughters. So you don't push responsibilities to the woman and then at her breaking point. So you must treat, and then also if you're a first daughter, you must make sure you know that you have also the same challenge. And it's important for you to know that you must stay ahead. Do you know that my elder sister, without her knowing, has become a source of inspiration and beacon of light for our family? My elder sister, at the age of 16, 17, she has started working with the government. After her secondary school, she took a job here at Harvard as a file carrier. She didn't go to conventional university that we have now, where you go back to school. All of us lived in the school, except my elder sister. She did a distant education at Abia University and read government to public administration. So she had a lot of experience working. While all of us were trying to go back to school, she was working and she was what? She was schooling under the guidance of my father. So by the time she was done with 4 years and went for youth service in Katsina or Kaduna, she has already gathered a lot of experience as an administrator. And then when that university was opened at Abia State, and there was a little opening there, they needed somebody who is going to go there. So she moved to that place and got that job. From that little girl she was the first person in my family that has gone out on her own from here to Lagos, over the Imo State, Nigeria to Lagos. It's a very far 7 hours or 8 hours journey on the road, to apply for visa to travel to America. And I'm telling you, she's the only person. She's the first person that took flight in our house. And you know what? She's the only person that have gone to America. I've not gone to America. Because she tried to go into America when she was younger. They didn't allow her. She said, you're a small girl at the age of 21. She was pushing to go to America. She couldn't go. So now she married, she just pack her children and pack everybody, go to America. He said, let me show this America. Where is this America, self? She arrived, he said, I've come to America. He said, is it America? I've come. What I couldn't do when I was young. She's the first person in my family that has a PhD. And has reason to. She's a source as the first daughter. She's always ahead. She's always ahead. She's always ahead. She's the first person that bought a car in the house. She's the first person that her children her two children are in Covenant University. Do you see that kind of you stay with that kind of elder sister and you're not inspired. If you're the elder sister, you must mention her two children are in Covenant University. Automatically, having to see that she has thrown a very big. Now, each and every one of us, even though she does not know this, but this lady, they fly you. She has built a house with her husband in Umaya, duplex. She has also built in Lagos. Her husband is a Yoruba man. She's inspiration. I'm talking about first daughters. Let it not be that we're talking about first sons, first sons. You can actually set the pace. That's why most of the times you find her, she wants to come to the house to influence us. We that are the guys. And we don't agree. We say, no, go and stay with your husband. But she has a strong what? Influence in the family. Even till now that she's the married woman. And no matter how you try to wave it aside, she's making a strong contribution to the family. Sometimes the cash may not be there. She will just download or you will leave her pocket. So even though we try to, but you find that what we're doing is that we're not trying to create competition around the family. Hope you understand what I'm saying. You take a step. But we're saying that you must make sure that you deliberately. How many of you find that sometimes you're frustrated inside of you the way things are not moving well? You feel like you feel like carrying the oil of Elijah, and with speed like Jehu. But you know that life is always processica. Is there any English like that? You must consistently work with that process, but make sure that you have the capacity to beat the process. I think I'm done with us. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. All right. Please, you have to break this down then before we take the questions and answers, so that people can actually. Anybody that has a question, if you leave me, I can talk. Haven't you seen that what we're doing here is quite serious? Are you aware? Oh, talk to me now. Did you get anything? You know, our target is that every third Saturday, every third Saturday of the month, we're here live, all our friends, and also we're trying to bring an inspiration. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel and share to all the first sons and first daughters everywhere. Do you know that? Do you believe that sharing this thing to somebody is going to help him? We have already extended our time more than expected. So, but it's important we understand what we're discussing today, becoming a beacon of light and a source of inspiration. Okay, let's take one or two questions. Are you ready? You ready now? Okay, we can do the